Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Dynamite Headdy. Act 6 introduces a completely new game mechanic and 3 new heads to go with it, unique to this act only. But nah, I'm sure we can do without. Oh dear, I guess we can't. The game won't let us proceed before we pick one up. And our options include the Featherhead, the Rocket Head and the Airhead. And we're gonna pick one up. Right after that. So, the entirety of Act 6 is a horizontal shoot-'em-up, a game genre I'm not exactly fond of, and one I'm not good at either. Is that a dog in the rocket? Must have been Sputnik 2. You know, I never figured out how to dodge that one enemy. But like I was saying, I'm really bad at these sort of games, which is why this is probably my least favorite act in Dynamite Headdy. But it does redeem the whole secret bonus point concept. They're a lot better than in Act 4 and 5, which isn't saying much of course, but it's nice that they tried at least. And straight into the mini-boss, Battleship number 6. And we kick things off with the Rocket Head because it's just perfect for this fight. Because of the way the turrets are lined up, you can just float in the left, or you could if it wasn't for the weird eel head chasing you around the screen. You can rid yourself of that by shooting Battleship in its mouth like that. But of course then he'll generate helicopters that drop bombs instead. Oh, son of a bitch. I'm sorry about that, it's just that I didn't mean to pick Featherhead up just yet, and I strongly advise you to steer clear of it. So, you have a bird for a head that shoots angry chicks out of its beak, in a weird arc. It's absolutely useless. The other 2 heads are far better than this in any given situation. It feels more like a trap or a choke than a weapon. But then again, the Battleship isn't that tough of a boss fight, so you might as well use it here if you like. Something you shouldn't do is take it to the next fight, however, and always take what the game offers you instead of this. Because there's absolutely no reason to take one of the worst heads in the game to one of the toughest fights with Trouble Brewin. Don't try this at home. The Brewin is up to no good again, with his new weird gadget, the Wheeler Dealer. Stays in the background to fire biscuits at you. Once he moves to the foreground, you can shoot him in the face. Whenever he lifts his head up like that, it's an indication that he'll shoot a fireball at you. On occasion, he'll release 2 bulbs that generate electricity. They only work in unison, so take out either one of them as fast as you can. You don't want to deal with electricity on top of everything else going on. God, I hate the bird head. It's just so worthless. The attack arc is weird, so you have to be pretty close to Trouble Brewin at all times. Not to mention it only shoots to the right, which means that because Trouble Brewin moves from side to side, your window to attack is limited to whenever he's on the right side of the screen. It's way too cramped on the left. I don't know if Birdhead deals more damage than the other heads. It would definitely make more sense, but I don't know about that. Oh dear. Well, it was bound to happen at some point. You know what? Screw the Birdhead, I can't take this anymore. I just wanted brag rights for beating Wheeler Dealer with it, but let's face it, it's not gonna happen. Instead, let's pick up Airhead like we should have done from the start. I strongly advise you to pick it up from the get-go and just hold on to it. And you can see why. Not only does it shoot in 3 directions, but it also allows you to turn around. Which means that in this fight especially, with Trouble Brewin moving from left to right, you can shoot his face incessantly, regardless of which side of the screen he's on. which is why I'll be sticking to this head from this point on. I have already shown the other two heads, so I'm sure it's not hurting anybody, that I'm making this a little bit easier for myself. Hope you don't mind. Unfortunately, it doesn't make me any better at dodging things. I'm still terrible at that. Like I said, I don't know if the heads deal different amounts of damage, but I still find that Trouble Brewin goes down a lot quicker with this one, just because you can keep attacking him wherever he is. So it's clearly superior to the other two in either case. Oh shoot, looks like we made him mad. You can tell because he's shooting a lot more rapidly. And this marks the end of the fight. You've dealt enough damage, now all you have to do is survive. Seems he ran out of missiles. Good. He is also a very law-abiding bear, and refuses to move past any stop signs, which is good for us. So long, sucker! But things don't get any easier in Flyhard 2. What we have here is a quickly auto-scrolling level of narrow corridors, loads of obstacles that hurt you, electricity, invincible spider enemies, turrets, bullets flying every which way. Just way too much information to process. I'm terrible at this. And alternate paths, which is always nice. Took the lower path the first time, but let's go back and see what's on the upper path instead. Just a bunch of turrets. If I were you, I'd probably go for the upper path. Especially if you use the plane head, since it takes the turrets out with little effort. Of course you have a third option. You can always just glitch through the wall. But moving on. Those wheels carried by the balloons are supposed to be traps, I think. They don't fly off unless you pop the balloon, and they're easier to avoid if you don't. But I still tend to keep the fire button pressed down at all times. I mean, there's just too much to keep track of to worry about that. I'd rather just tank the hit myself. At last, the final corridor. No more shooting involved, just avoid the spiders and you're home free. Huh, way too close for comfort. But we survived. And all that's left is to take care of the Keymaster. Yep, that is a baby face, alright. Let's do a little ear inspection. Nothing here, except something that hurts you. Interestingly enough, Babyface doesn't start attacking unless you do. He pukes out slowly moving fireballs that are really easy to avoid so long as you don't get cornered like this. With the airhead, there's no reason to do so because you can freely move around the screen and keep dealing damage no matter which side you're on. But imagine doing this with the featherhead or the rocket head. It would inevitably prolong the fight. Wait, that's it? Nope, guess again! Babyface has 4 faces, and faces to go with each face. And this is the young man face, and like any youngster he tries to stick his fingers where they don't belong. Just pay attention to the bottom of the screen, so you can see when his finger's coming up. And you'll be fine. After that, just try and dodge the electricity. sort of blends in with everything. I find it a little bit hard, but all in all, he's not that tough. The grumpy middle-aged man is a whole different story though. This guy hates life, hates you, and hates everything you stand for. But he does take the time to advertise you, and this is one time I could do it without adverts. So he keeps shooting those lasers. Getting up close is suicide. So just stay to the left. With the plane ahead, thankfully you can just keep to the upper left-hand corner of the screen. Let the head do all the work. Unfortunately, it doesn't shoot through the arm, but thanks to the three-way shot, that won't be an issue. He went down rather easily. I remember dying to this guy a lot. You know, I kind of feel bad about shooting an old man in the face, but there's just no other way to proceed. This is the easiest phase of the fight by far. All he does is try to grab you with his wrinkled old man hand. It's not challenging at all, and there isn't much else to say, so let's just take him out of his misery. And if you kill him, it will reveal Beano. Get out of here. You're probably wondering why the game gives you a free bonus point, so we'll be looking at that in a bit. This is pretty embarrassing not getting a continue here. Being able to fly makes it a cakewalk to grab the continue blocks. I don't think I've ever missed a continue in this fight, in fact. I don't know what happened here. But most importantly, the level is cleared, and all secret bonus points are in the bag.
Yes.
Right on schedule. And time for flying is now past. Headdy will jump down to Act 7, where we will follow him. But first, let's take a look at a couple of things. First of all, the rocket head is a viable option in this fight, because it shoots right through the arm. So you're not limited to just the plane head. Skipping on to the next phase, let's see what happens if the old guy grabs you. Yeah, he dies of old age. That's why you shouldn't feel too bad about killing him. He's pretty much dead already. And that's how you get all the blocks. I don't know why I screwed up the first time. And finally, if you want to get back at the game for being so obnoxious with the secret bonus points, here's your chance. You can just keep doing this as long as you like. You have to time it right though, but it's not too difficult. And if you do that, the ending screen gets kind of screwed up. Ding! That is a lot of points for absolutely nothing. We don't even get a 0. Apparently you can also get more secret bonus points in the fight against the wooden dresser in Act 3, as mentioned by someone in the Something Awful thread, but this is where I found out about myself. I just thought it was kind of interesting. As far as I know, that's all for Act 6. So thank you for watching, and see you guys in Act 7 in Heady Wonderland.